What is up, guys, and welcome back to their hot takes video. Let's get right into the first one. That comes from Colton, who says, every time I see Roman Reigns, I'm reminded that I wouldn't mind at all if he held the title for years to come. It is truly an all-time run, and honestly, if Roman Reigns holds on to the title for another 1,641 days, he will break Bruno Sammartino's record. Should he? Absolutely not. Look, I agree that this is an all-time run. I agree that when Roman Reigns is on TV, it feels like a big deal, like the biggest deal, and he's a top star in the business right now, but he's barely defending that title. He's barely on SmackDown, and that is a problem. So I'm sorry, I cannot see Roman Reigns hold the title after WrestleMania 40. He's got to drop it at WrestleMania, in my opinion. The next hot take comes from Vincent, who says CM Punk is not a cancer to any wrestling promotion. I don't think he is, to be honest with you. I think people are scared of him because he would do things that would destroy the company, but he wasn't going to. Maybe the wrestlers should have treated him with respect instead of making him look like a villain. That is honestly one of the funniest sentences. You said people are scared because he might destroy the company. Like, bro, that is why people think he's a cancer. But is he or is he not? I don't think he is. I think that CM Punk is misunderstood. I think he's the most misunderstood wrestler. The next hot take comes from M2162, and he says that WWE does not need Pepsi Phil. And no, I kind of disagree. Like, I do think they kind of need him because right now they've been kind of dry on Raw, especially Raw, and that's where he would go, I would assume, because he's been, hinted at with Seth Rollins on Raw for the last few weeks. So I think they need CM Punk because right now Raw is dry and they need a big time name to come over, and Pepsi Phil is the right name for them. Phoenix Firebird says the return of Randy Orton would lead towards a more successful long run in WWE than the return of CM Punk. And that is a good hot take. That's an interesting one. And I kind of would have to agree. I think Randy Orton's going to be here for another decade, and I don't think he's going to have many problems like CM Punk could potentially have. So I will say that Orton should have a longer, more successful run with WWE if they both return. Even though I agree, Lil Pimp does not. They say, hell no, Randy is washed. Oh my God, I don't think Randy's washed at all. I think before he left, he was actually doing some of the best work of his entire career. The RK Bro thing was absolutely fire. He was on fire. Everybody was cheering for him. They loved him. That was probably one of his best babyface runs. So I disagree. And honestly, when he comes back, he's going to get one hell of a pop. And I want this man to honestly be in the world title picture. Which Relish Llama says Randy Orton is the guy to take the title from Roman Reigns. Look, guys, I would love nothing more than for Roman Reigns to drop the title to Randy Orton, but not at this point. He's got to drop it to somebody like Cody Rhodes, who can go on and become a big babyface for years to come. And Orton honestly doesn't need the title win, but I do want Randy Orton to become the WWE or World Heavyweight Champion sometime in the future. Preferably, I would want him to be the one who beats Cody Rhodes after turning heel in like a year or something of that nature. 7 Frank Castle says that Randy Orton should be the one to break Ric Flair's record and stay on Randy Orton. I would agree with that. A lot of people wanted to be John Cena, but I think Randy Orton is the GOAT. I think he's the best wrestler of all time. He's the perfect wrestler. He's done everything there is to do, and I think the next step is to break Ric Flair's record and win 3 more world championships. Philip says that WWE has dropped the ball with Cody Rhodes, and I couldn't disagree more. Like, yeah, did the Brock Lesnar feud kind of go on for a little too long? Yes. Is the Judgment Day storyline going a little too long as well? Yes. But regardless of that, Cody Rhodes is the biggest babyface of WWE, and he's been the #1 merch seller of the entire year. So there's no way that WWE dropped the ball with Cody Rhodes. I think they did a fine job, and I think when he does fight Roman Reigns again, a lot of people will get reinvested and say otherwise. Water Warrior says that WWE is the 3rd best promotion right now. I don't know what you're smoking. They are #1. Nobody else is anywhere near them, and that is just a fact of life. The next hot take says that LA Knight is still not ready for the top level, and I disagree. LA Knight is definitely top guy ready. He's got all the tools it takes to be a world champion. If anything, he feels like a world champion. When I look at him on my screen, I'm like, this guy is above a lot of other people. He's on Roman's level. That's what I felt during the entire feud and build up between LA Knight and Roman Reigns. I think he should be the one who beats Seth Rollins, or at least walks out of WrestleMania 40 as the world heavyweight champion. I don't know how they're going to do it. I still think he should have won Money in the Bank. Giving it to Damian Priest was a mistake. I still feel that way. Speaking of the Judgment Day, the next hot take says that Finn fell off. which kind of feels right, but I think that's the story they're going with. I think WWE is trying to make Damian Priest feel like the, you know, the big brother of the Judgment Day, and I don't think Finn is liking that, so I kind of see where they're going. But honestly, Finn Balor is the type of guy who I think plays a better babyface than a heel. There aren't too many guys who can do that, so I think they should turn him babyface sometime in the future and have him feud with Damian Priest. I think it's going to happen at WrestleMania if I had to guess. Sir Benjamin James says that Solo Sikoa could be a Samoan Brock Lesnar, so basically Samoa Joe. But anyways, no, I don't think he is. I just, for some reason, I don't see it with Solo Sikoa. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, whoa, what do you mean? There's just something about Solo Sikoa, like, I don't know. I watch him and I'm like, yeah, he could be all right. He's a mid-card guy, but I just don't see him as a world champion. It's just for some reason not clicking. Maybe he needs a little more time, or maybe he needs, I don't know, to get away from the bloodline and do his own thing. Phoenix Firebird comes back and says that Solo Sikoa has all the tools to pretty much be how Umaga was in 2006, a complete monster bulldozing past anyone with Paul Heyman helping him out. That's not a bad idea. Like I said, maybe if he gets away from the bloodline but keeps Paul Heyman, that wouldn't be too bad. But honestly, there's just, Umaga was like more of like a, I don't know, the guy didn't even know how to speak English and just felt like a monster, whereas Solo just feels like a normal dude kind of trying to be like that. It's difficult. I can't explain my weird feeling about Solo Sikoa, but he's just not doing it for me. I don't think he's going to be Umaga 2.0 either. Otaku says that Cena needed that victory more than Solo. That was an unnecessary booking decision, especially after those passionate promos by John Cena. I mean, I get what WWE is doing. They kind of want to continue it and have John Cena beat Solo down the line, maybe at Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, but I personally don't believe in the story. I don't really think that he's retiring, so it doesn't really do much for me. I do think that John Cena should have won and beat Solo and moved on to somebody else to feud with in the future, like Logan Paul, or I don't even know, maybe a rematch with Austin Theory if WWE want to go down that route. But Munchkin Boy says otherwise. He says Theory is a mid-carder for life, and right now I know it feels that way, and it could be true, but I blame WWE and how they booked this man. I think Theory has a lot of, you know, skills. I think Theory has the right tools to become a big box office name for WWE, or at least a main event kind of guy, but WWE has not been booking him too well, and that's kind of on them. Like, well, I don't even know what he's doing. His US title run was ass. The John Cena feud was kind of ass, and then really nothing happened since. Seeker says the Judgment Day story has ran its course. I would be fine with them if they weren't the only heels on Raw. Even Gunther takes a backseat to them. We need more and better heels on the Raw roster rather than just having the faces feud with the Judgment Day or Imperium. And I agree with this. This is one of the flaws with Raw. The Judgment Day is way too much on that show. And like he says, Gunther does not feel like a top draw because it's always all about the Judgment Day. And honestly, the Judgment Day does kind of feel a little boring. I'm not liking the JD edition. It's like cool, whatever, it's all right, but it's not like groundbreaking. Like I said, I don't like the Finn Balor is being treated like a little kid kind of thing. Dom is good. I still like Dom, and I do like Rhea Ripley. They got to do something to really spice it up. Angus says that Ludwig Kaiser should be the one to dethrone Gunther, and I can see why you would say that, and that's not a totally bad idea. Like, I kind of think it's kind of cool, especially with a singles push for Ludwig. But if I had to pick somebody, it would still be Chad Gable. That's my guy. That's who I want to see as the next IC champion. ZA Champion says that Shawn Michaels in 2000s was better than Shawn Michaels in the 90s. And I disagree. Shawn Michaels in the 90s was on fire. This man was just a total savage and did whatever the hell he wanted and put on bangers, complained, had so many things going on backstage with WWE, and also the infamous Montreal Screwjob happened, which I think is one of the coolest, craziest, most controversial moments in wrestling history. So I'm going to say that 90 Shawn Michaels was better, but 2000 Shawn Michaels was also fire. This one's a very hard debate, but I'm going to go with 90s. And the last hot take comes from Munchkin Boy, and they say Michael Cole is the GOAT of commentary, 26 years and only missing 3 shows. And I gotta agree with that. Michael Cole might very well be the GOAT. He's the voice of WWE for a reason. He is my GOAT, my commentary GOAT. I agree with that. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next video.